right, let's go, people. We recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hop right into it.
VSTs, we want to talk about VSTs. So VSTs basically is it's the software, there's a plugin or software within the software that controls the sound or makes the sound. You know, you got your MIDI keyboard. Your MIDI keyboard's got to tell what sound to make. So you got different, like I said, softwares to use to make instruments.
Yeah.
Anything y'all want to expand on that? Or?
Yeah, man. I think one of the dope things about VSTs is the fact that when you're dealing with software today, back in the day, let's say you had a keyboard or you had an MP, you know, say you had a Korg Triton, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, most people who were doing production back, you know, using those keyboards, even like hardware equipment, even like with the MPC and stuff, a lot of people might have just only used stock instruments and stock sounds because that's just generally what you did. Like, hey, you know, this is workstation, I'm gonna use what I got.
Right.
And because of that, you had a lot of stuff, you had like the same sounding stuff with a lot of different things too. And that's something we're going to elaborate on even with some of these VSTs, because that's the issue you have even with some popular VSTs.
Yes.
Ultimately.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you were pretty much limited to what you had unless you were able to bring something in.
Unless you were DJ Premier and you had 900,000 floppy disks.
Yeah, exactly. And
with different things that you've already worked through or took from different producers. Like it took years to build, like we were talking, it takes years to build sound collections.
Yeah, now you don't, like you said, the thing is, like you said, going back to, you know, we're talking about the DAWs and stuff now, you can take those things, you can use things such as VSTs, and
association
you
with
put VSTs on. So, and that makes a big difference now, because like I said, you can pretty much, everybody has a custom station. You might use the same software, like you can use Logic, like we can all be using Logic, or we can all use Cubase, we can all use MPC Elements, we can all use FL Studio, but because of the sounds that we might like, or what we're producing, we might purchase or have different sets of VSTs that are completely different. All together. Completely different workstation. So, like I said, your workstation completely different than mine, completely different than yours. And we'll know this for facts. You know what I mean? Like, literally, we can go right now and look and see, like, he has a whole different setup. You can tell this is a setup for him. And that's what makes it really neat, too, when you look at this stuff nowadays. It's so much more customizable now.
Back in the day, you're right. You would go into a place, and what was it? You'd see there'd be an email, there'd be an SP, and like the MPC, and you'd be like, oh, I'm good, we can work now. And like it would be everywhere. It'd be the same thing everywhere. And like, unless, this is the big thing back in the day, that's how people used to always have the zip drives and the flash drive, so they can steal sounds. Because back in the day, like I say, everybody had literally, so if you would hear something different, you'd be like, oh,
I have
find that in there real quick and take that back. Kanye was stealing Eminem's drums.
Really?
Yeah.
He talked about it.
Because he went in there and he's like, everybody has the same setup, but he's like, he was playing this stuff, he's like, that's not up on that SP normally. Took the drums.
I didn't know that. That's a jewel, I guess.
Right?
So how if I was a new producer, you know, just starting the game, let's say less than 2 years old in the game, how would I choose using a VST?
Always, all right, I've been waiting for this one. All right. So I always think about it like this, because I'm so old, I still receive the magazines with all the stuff, and I read through the magazines to see all the new stuff that pops out, right? You should always, I tell people, you should think about it like you're building a band. Your VST should model a band. You should have a drummer, you should have a keyboardist, you should have a guitar player, you should have a bass player, and your VST should be able to give you all those things that you need out of a band so that you can make a full composition. And if you can't get that, you're going to be lacking in your VSTs, and you're not going to be able to actually make a full range of music. Like it'll hinder you. And so the easiest thing, and I know, especially starting off using Fruity Loops, sequencing drums. And I tell people, I know most people don't like this. This is an art behind it, man. If you can learn how to sequence drums, it makes, like, when you go into a real studio, first of all, it makes that process easier because you can easily move from that software into hardware. And then you also learn about song song organization and how you need to actually set everything up to move in a flow. Make sure that you have the composition to go along with the sound that you're making.
So you kind of tell them on your technique too. So you do drums first usually.
No.
You don't?
No.
Melody?
See, I'm not telling that technique.
Okay.
But I was telling, like, my thing is, like, I always think, because Kevin tells you, I'm a jazz guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I like live music, live instrumentation, right? And I like stuff to sound, because people, when they hear my beats, if I play some of my beats for you, like, yo, your beats are moving.
Yeah. Okay.
It doesn't sound, it's not stagnant. There's gonna be, like, I'll literally make sure that the hats are different every
time.
8 to 12 bars.
Yeah.
You know, 8 to 12? Yeah, and then sometimes like 3 bars. What? Because I know for humans, especially with short attention span, I'm not gonna lie, I had to learn how to make music for the youth. And the attention span is different.
Well, it's actually the same thing. It's just that you can switch up every, like I said, 16 bars or every 8 bars, or you have a hook going this way. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's how I translate it. Like when I do tracks, there's one actual track I can go back to when we did Pass the Ops. There's one track, people thought I was going back to the different.
Yeah.
I wasn't. I was kind of switching it up, kind of going up a little bit, pitching up on the third verse. But the hook came in real fat, and it kind of kept people. And I actually did some. I got people into it, but I was dancing to the track and everything, whatever.
Oh yeah,
I was trying to show it. But the track itself was kind of moving. You know what I'm saying? And people recognize it. That's how I do things. So, and I think if you listen to more like album cuts, not necessarily singles, you see producers doing that. You see what I'm saying? As far as like switching up, especially if somebody like records daily, they got to hear something different anyway.
Because it'll drive you insane.
I mean, think about it. If you an industry artist hearing 100,000 trap beats,
It drives you crazy.
it would drive me insane because they want to do something different. So like, let me hear something different.
Yeah.
So, the way I would like if I was starting out, well, if I start out over again as far as mine VST and stuff like that, I would do it one based on my budget.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because they got some VSTs that's like insane. I don't think you need to spend $400,000 or $500,000 to just start out.
No.
On a VST, not even 300. I know Serum and what's the other one?
That's a good one.
Serum is like $300 or $400. Nexus, like $400. I don't think you need to invest in that because you don't know if you want to stick with this or not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even though it has a lot of instruments, but you still can piece it up.
And it's a module thing anyway.
Yeah.
So you set the by packs.
Exactly. Based on your budget, and sometimes like people kind of downplay getting free stuff. Like you go to a free VST warehouse, got tons of free stuff. Now of course you got to do some tweaking here and there to get the sounds that you want.
Yeah.
But that's the way to get your practice in and not spend so much money on certain things.
Yeah,
You see what I'm saying?
And it gives you individuality.
And that's another thing. Like I'm not gonna lie, every now and then I got some that free I still pull. Every now and then,
That's what I'm saying. It's worth it. You're like,
It's
what you
just
use? That's a free VST.
You know.
But it does what I need to do.
I'm just waiting on the day sometimes I'm like, yo, what is that? I'll be like, this is something made by such and such, whatever.
Surprise. They're like, really?
Yeah.
Like, now I didn't have to pay for it.
So, and I still have my favorite VSTs that I go to. Like, I mean, I'm not downplaying certain ones, but like, I don't use those ones like, battery, the Nexus, and all that good stuff. That's like $400 or $500, $300 for waves and whatnot, because I have my go-to since I started.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? Because
Gotcha.
those companies, they get better, and I get better, and that's what I.
And you upgrade with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. And then like with companies like Arturia.
Man, go ahead. You ready?
They come with.
Bruh, that's all I'm about to. I'm ready.
They come with VSTs that are closer to the sound that you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love, speaking of Arturia, I know.
You just mentioned, so that's like one of my favorite joints.
Yeah, man, I know I have my 5 favorite. I know my 5 favorite artists.
Okay.
And the fact that you just said, I just got to say, that's one of my favorites, Arturia. Because what I did is actually I bought the keyboard set to go with the vintage
essentials?
modules. You gotta get it, right?
Yeah.
And with inside of that, once you realize, oh, all right, so they give you these, you can mess with them, tweak them, etc. But you can also buy packs, and the packs aren't expensive. Like Arturia's so smart about that. They aren't expensive packs, but you get really good sound. And like comparing the sound of the Arturia modules to a real hardware like a microcord.
Yeah.
it's almost it's the same. Yeah, you can put them right side by side. You would not know the difference.
Listen, that's how actually I start, because I started off with a lot of Arturia's hardware, beat step.
Yeah.
Like I said, the micro core. Something else I had too by Arturia.
They had that brute, the
Micro brew.
Yeah,
I got that. I got the limited edition, the white one.
for real.
The micro brew, yeah.
No, all right.
So, and I'm just, just playing around a little bit. First of all, you can kind of use those things as MIDI, so I kind of patched them into my other MIDI keyboard into
Smart.
FL Studio, so I can kind of record those sounds in. But when I first started playing with the VSTs, I was like, damn, it kind of sounds the same. It sounds almost exactly the same.
exactly the same.
Like if I want to listen to a certain type of move or something like that, or want to play this type of move, I can find it.
Yep, immediately.
Immediately, like, boom.
Yeah, without having to. And I like doing that stuff. That's fun. That's fun because then, like you say, you know it's a unique sound.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be able, when you don't have to dial in and just be able to go and find it or have it. You do that preset, say that preset, put it aside. Because, like for instance, on some of the hardware controls, they'll give you saved presets. You can have saved presets, but it's limited.
Yep.
So you can't. It's not like you can go crazy and save millions of different presets. You got to make sure. Okay, I like these 8 sounds on this one bank. I'm gonna make sure I have these 8 sounds saved hardcore this one bank.
Because it's got like the essentials. I think come with like 250 something different patch already.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So really, that's all you need besides some drums, or drum packs, or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. Cause like, what do you have? Look, like I said, what do you get? You got a bass, you get your guitar,
Yeah.
you got your keys. All right, you just got drums. All right, you got drums now?
different pads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you can tweak them how you want to. Yeah. So what's your top 5? Top 5 VST.
Top 5. I'm gonna start off with Serato sample.
Okay.
Because of course I have Serato, but the sample plugin, crazy.
Yeah.
Because you know how many cues you get. Imagine you have, you can have an Ableton pad, and you can just literally set up cues.
I don't know if you say what turntable do you use?
Oh, I have Newmarks right now,
Okay.
but I'm
Which
about to
ones?
get some new tables. The TT200s.
Okay.
Yep.
I got the Envy too.
You got the what?
Envy too.
Oh, go ahead. God damn. All right, man. All right. So that's fun right there. Oh, that's fun right there.
I got the Envy too, man. I actually I started out with the Mix Track Pro.
Okay.
I was like, I know there's some other functions because the Mix Track Pro is real small, real beginner. You can't use the full version of Serato with that.
Ah.
You know what I'm
they
saying?
only let you use.
It's like an intro version. You know what I'm saying? You can only use like 2 or 3 different sound effects. And you can't save like the sound effects and stuff like that or whatever. And I think the wave looks a little different. It's been some years since but yeah, I was like, you know what? These MVs 2 is only $600, so let me do like 2 or 3 gigs and But anyway, back to
it pays itself off. No, you can have to pay. Yeah, I'm gonna pay it off. I'm like, Kevin, yo, we gotta get these tables. He's like, why? I was like, cause I got the gig set. Just give me the tables. They pay themselves off.
Literally, I knocked that out on 2 gigs. I was like,
Yep.
with a few extra dollars. But anyway, back to your top VST. My bad.
All right, so Serato sample, of course. Arturia, of course, the analog machines. Spark drum machines. I like that. I like it because the type of drums that they have in it, it's just like for instance, without having to have a hardware module, you can get all the rolling sounds. You can get all the old club kicks and drums and stuff like that, and then you can mess with them, do whatever you want to do with them. Contact. The reason why I say contact because I remember Kevin put us on. He was like, "Yo, you gotta get these trap bang drums." And as soon as he told me to get the trap bang drums, right, he turned me into a contact crack addict. So then I'm up here buying and making sure I have all this other contact stuff because I was like, yo, you can do all this other stuff with contact.
Yeah.
So I had to have contact. And then last, and this is one of the Logic Pro things, Alchemy. Alchemy is one of the most powerful VST.
I've heard of it. I never
That thing is dope, bro.
Yeah.
It's so dope because it's for instance, it's like if Windows made a VST for Windows. No lag time.
Yeah.
Extremely fast. You can have as many voices as you want. Oscillations out there. Like you can literally make crazy sounds. But at the same time, it has huge libraries of sounds already set presets if you want. And what I do is I always listen to all the presets, and I'll put my favorite sound or things that I want to be able to work sounds from. And Alchemy, you can get bass lines, great pads, synths, all that good stuff, drums, whatever you want. And they literally, and I'll put it like this: there's nothing you can't find if you need a sound on Alchemy. It's all there.
Yeah.
But the issue with that, and this is why I put it, it's as one of my favorites, but I have other synths up there with it, is because sometimes you don't feel like going through all
Bunch of
that.
sound stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
so I'll go to some things that I already know I've already knocked the kinks out.
Yeah, that's what yeah.
Those are my top 5. And then, lastly, I gotta put this in. This is a 6 because I didn't know this. Like I learned this.
Not an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Yo, Fruity Loops. I gotta put Fruity Loops in there because it's a VST too.
It is. That's actually what it is.
It is. That's what I tell people. They don't
VST.
realize like it's a dog, but it's a VST, and I can take that and pull it into any of my other programs and use it. Especially now that they have it format, I can pull that into Logic.
So are you using that now?
Yeah,
Working on Logic?
Kevin, I go from Windows, Fruity Loops, over to the Mac with the Fruity Loops and the Logic, and then
Yo, I
finish up
got to sit in a session with you, man, because you seem like you're pretty interesting. The way
It's fun, man.
There's no method to your madness, but at the same time, it's like organized chaos.
Yeah.
We like kind of dive in there.
No, seriously.
So, yeah, okay. So, yeah. What's your top 5, bro?
Man, my top 5. Of course, man, he already gave me my damn number 1. My number 1 is Contact.
Yep.
I love Contact. Contact is so versatile, man. Like the thing is, you got everything in Contact you need.
Yep.
Like I said, it is affordable to do.
Yes, that's the
Build it
biggest
up.
part.
You got
Nice,
keyboard.
nice.
You know, you got your keys. You can buy your packs where you got, it's customizable. So you got your drums.
That's right.
You got your
That's
synths.
right.
You got your basses. You got what else? You got horns. Like everything.
Sound
is
effects.
great. Yeah, sound effects, atmospheres.
It's real, like,
All kinds of
it all sounds kind of realistic, too.
Yeah.
That's one thing about it.
Yeah.
Even
Quality.
though, like, my only gripe with Contact is it's CPU heavy. That's my only drawback to it.
Yeah.
But
That's what I talk about alchemy. It works with the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right on that.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, you good, man. But like you said, I think that's my number 1. Number 2 for me probably has to be I like Track Guide a lot.
What's
Okay.
that?
Track Guide.
Track Guide.
Oh yeah, you showed me
I
that.
like Track Guide a lot. Like I use that a lot, especially nowadays. I use that. I like the sounds. I like the sounds. I like the percussion.
I know you like the percussion.
Because everybody, I'm a big percussion person. Like my drums ain't hitting the right way.
You don't even mess with it.
I don't like messing with it because I'll make something. I'll start on something. I work on it for like 3 days, and if the drums ain't hitting, I just start all over scrapping. And with Track Guide, I love the drums. And now some of the samples are cool. I'm not really a big like pluck person or like that. They got some cool basses in there too.
And they got the trap bells.
Yeah, they got the trap bells. It's cool. Like I like messing with those. But yeah, definitely Track Guide would be my 2. I know for 3, because I'm old school dude at heart, and I love keyboards. He'll tell you, I love old school synths. I love old school keyboards. Like I'll sit there and watch stuff like, for example, like I watch like Purple Rain, and I watch the end of Purple Rain because the dude's playing the hi-hats on the keyboard on certain stuff.
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. I've always been to that. I will, if I had
He
the
put me
money,
on
I
the
would
Core
collect
Legacy stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will collect
And
all
ones and
kinds of
stuff.
keyboards. Old school keyboards, old school sounds, and I would collect all that stuff if I had it. But yeah, the FM8 is great because FM8 is an emulator of the DX7.
Yep.
DX7 is what everybody used to use back in the day and stuff like Teddy Riley.
That's that hard that we say it's in every studio.
Yeah, 80s and 90s, that's what they used to use, that keyboard. It's
Right.
like keyboard's crazy.
Right.
Legendary keyboard, legendary sounds, and all that stuff is based off of that. They used to have the FM7, but then they came out with the FM8 later on. I believe it's
Scratch.
Native Instruments that does FM8.
And they scratch this
I
up.
love that. The other thing I love is Bass Engine.
I didn't even get the mess of bass engine.
no
He showed me
CST.
it. Yeah.
That's amazing too. I love the bass. Like it's so versatile. It basically covers hip hop. It's like a hip hop history book based on bass lines. So it starts from like the 90s and goes all the way up into today. And then for me, the last one would be Arturia, Analog Mac. And a lot of it's just all the old school sounds, all the old school instruments. And it's like, and you can still incorporate that stuff into your production today. And if you know at least basic music, composition, in theory, you can come with some pretty soulful, some funky dope stuff too. So those are the things that I like.
Yep.
Those are my top 5.
And that, another thing about that, that Arturia, I'm gonna say, I don't know what they did. I don't know who they paid.
Yo, I was actually shouting it out in the first episode like Arturia because we was going back
We
and forth.
needed sponsorship, Arturia.